The thing that prompted me to attend an Eyes Wide Open meeting, I was actually invited by a coworker, and she was working at the church that we were actually having the meeting at. So I was like, okay, I'll go. I didn't really know what I was going to be going to, but I thought, I'd go support, see what it's all about. So as I started to listen to everyone's story, including the leaders, I was like, I might not be the person in this group that's supposed to be in this group. Like, for some reason, I thought I wasn't supposed to be here. And as I kept thinking about it and listening, I said, well, I guess when I hear the word eating disorder, my mind goes to a certain thought. And I said, that's not me, But as I listened to more people speak and I got a little bit more into the lessons, I understood more of it was a disordered eating, which means a lot of us fall into that category. So that's why I felt like I probably should just keep attending to just see what it's all about, and the rest is history. My biggest takeaway from Eyes Wide Open has been vulnerability. Vulnerability is so important, and you don't realize how much you relate to other people until you start telling your story. So that feeling of having this big problem just to yourself seems to get smaller. It's still an issue, but you don't feel as alone in your most vulnerable thoughts about yourself. When you hear someone else say it out loud, you're like, oh, she said that, and I'm thinking it. So it just gives you a different kind of freedom in a space that's very, very unique to people with issues with eating. I would tell someone who was wondering if Eyes Wide Open was for them, I would say, just try it. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself into a situation that's at least safe. There's a lot of spaces out here with a lot of people who want to just hear what you have to say, but they don't always give you the proper way to deal with what you're going through, or give you a good suggestion, or just be an example of, I've been through that, you don't have to do it alone, I'm here for you. And that alone goes a long way. And I've learned that just from being around different people that's been a part of the group, how everyone's taken something different from it, and it's life-changing. The thing that prompted me to be an Eyes Wide Open leader was the ask. Our fearful leader asked, if you'd be willing to participate in leading, as well as, being a participant, would you be able, or would you want to try that? And my first thought was, I'm not healed yet. I'm not qualified to lead someone else if I haven't gotten out of, I feel like, my journey fully. But honestly, some of us need leaders who are still in the journey. And that by itself gives me the confidence to know, hey, you're not perfect. You're still doing it. You'll still fail sometimes, but you're not going to quit. My biggest takeaway from leading a group with Eyes Wide Open was understanding how important it was for me to be present and for me to be there for people, even if I couldn't physically help them. It eventually went from in-person to online during the COVID pandemic, but still having someone to speak to, even if I didn't feel like I had all the answers, a smile, I care, I'm here, let's keep going. Sometimes that was all that was needed, and that helped me not feel like I had to be perfect all the time, but to just always never give up on myself first and never give up on others. I would tell anyone who is considering being a leader, don't be afraid. You'll never be at the right place that you think you're going to be at to lead someone else. Many of us become parents before we're willing to become parents. Some of us choose to be educators and teachers, to be someone who can lead, but a lot of us are leaders just because of who we are and what our stories are. So don't be afraid to just stand up. It's not a lot that you have to do, just be committed. It's mainly all you have to do. Committed, give a little bit of your time, not a whole lot of it, but you'll see in return it is such a thing that you can't bottle up. You can't explain what you get from it, because everyone gets something different. But absolutely, if God is calling you, just be obedient and follow.